All right, well, how's it going, everybody? So it's been about 2 weeks since I've done a review. I've just been slightly busy the past 2 weekends, unfortunately. But I've been really jonesing to get back into it. So here's a new installment. I'm deciding to do another one of Tariru's Ascensions from that Ascension streak. I picked one from later in the streak because I figured, I don't know, if he was learning throughout the streak, then he'd probably um, you know, we'll have be able to see that stuff here now. So, oh yeah, NetHack, yeah. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. New review getting started right here. I picked a Taurus. My selection process was kind of I wanted something that didn't start with poison resistance because I think that's a big deal early on. And it's funny looking at his later games in that streak, like how many orc races you played, like so many like wizard orcs, which is something that I don't know you don't do unless you want poison resistance. So I avoided that. And last time I picked an archaeologist with the intent of doing that, but then I forgot that they started with tinning kits, which kind of gives them easy poison resistance anyways. So this is a Taurus, one of the more difficult roles generally. Human, male, neutral, very common vanilla class. I think it'll be good just to see what the strategies are here. Um, and I think this will be the last one of Tariru's games that I do for a little bit, and I'll probably branch out to some other things soon. But I wanted to get another one of these in because I've only done one full game of his on stream, and I guess we'll be able to compare these two to see what kind of differences there may be. After that, who knows? This might be a 3 or 4 part installment. I don't know how long this is going to take. After that, I'm probably gonna do something fun like one of NHT's speed runs, and then I'll probably start digging into some variant stuff as we lead up to June NetHack, and then I'll do some of my own gameplay as well and try to implement like everything we've learned because I've definitely learned some new tricks from doing this as well. You managed to send your first game ever in the time between my last stream and today. Awful female Dwarven Valkyrie. Awesome. Well, I hope my last stream helped you a little bit there. And congratulations. That's I don't know. I know that's always exciting, the first Ascension, so I'm happy to hear that. And yeah, the female Dwarven Valkyrie, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that. I would recommend that to anyone as their first Ascension. So no shame in that. But yeah, let's get started on this, I guess, and see where we go. I think this first TTY rec is like 2 turns or something, but let's just see what happens here. Um, wow, 10 health. Let's see, 17 Constitution. I don't know what the Taurus hit die is. But 10 health is low. I assume we'll be searching for traps quite a lot. So, 960 gold. That's a pretty good amount. Probably see credit cloning of some sort in here. He doesn't use the exploit ever, but he'll put gold in like a sack and have the pet steal it and do that kind of stuff. He definitely micromanages his pet in shops and tries to take advantage of that. Lucky full moon. 29 blessed +2 darts. Those darts are really nice early on, and since they're blessed and +2, they have a pretty low chance of mulching, which is like when they get destroyed when you throw them. So you can really stretch those out quite a bit. But one of your primary goals as a Taurus is going to be to get a decent weapon as soon as you can, because those darts will not last forever. Decent starting food items, pretty common for Taurus. The magic mapping scrolls. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how he uses these magic mapping scrolls because I have a feeling there's a lot of utility in using them earlier than I tend to use them, especially if you're trying to play like very conservatively. And the camera's nice, and the credit card is a unlocking tool, so I'm checking the discoveries, probably looking to see if that is a smoky potion, which it's not. Credit card on K. I actually use that same letter for my unlocking tools. Drinking the extra healing potions right away. I was wondering if he was going to do this. And this is just to bump his health up. And yeah, he saves right here. So you drink one. Goes HP up from 10 to 12. Save. So let's jump into the next one. Next installment here. Now, I don't know what he does here. So I guess he decided to drink one and then save the other one to probably use an emergency or something. He may have been looking for a specific minimum hit points threshold for dealing with traps, certain monsters. 10 to 12. 10's pretty low. What is the damage on like a... Let's pull up the wiki here. What is the damage on, say... I can't run into boulder traps right away. But yeah, they do D20, which is nasty. They're usually easy to spot, though. Falling rock traps. 2d6, so... Bet you he was trying to get over that threshold. He's not over it right now. But... We can only guess to what the intentions are, but I'm thinking maybe he wanted to save one of those potions for an emergency. You want to see some mid game because you're always lost when you get to the quest? Yeah, we'll get there. I don't know, depending on how fast we get there. That might not happen this stream, but you can pull up some of my older videos if you want to see some gameplay there as well. So, right off the bat, you'll notice he's only going to step on tiles that his pet has walked on in rooms, because that's one way you can guarantee that there's no trap there. I think you wanted to note that there's a closet there to perhaps... A closet is like a one square room on the edge of a room that can be generated. It's a special type of tile, I guess. And they have these jail ones that they added in 3.6, and you can find like loot like in a corpse behind them usually. I don't think he wanted to bother walking into there because he can't get past those bars yet. But I guess he wanted to annotate that and mark it just in case he comes back to see if there's a scroll or something in there. They might always have a scroll teleport, actually, which is a feature of closets that don't have a direct access, like through a door. But I don't think he was going to risk, walking on those tiles or like waiting to search or have his pet walking them beforehand. Throwing darts at enemies here. All right, Albereth. Possibly letting the pet do some of the dirty work early on here. Playing monsters. Just guess that there was a hidden door over there. Well, this is an interesting development. The pet has left. I think he's pretty unhappy about that right now, so I don't know if he's going to go follow it or... Well, actually, trapdoors can go to multiple levels below, so we look that up. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know there was no upper limit to a Trapdoor, actually. I thought it was like 1 to 3 levels or something, so you can't really just follow the pet down, unfortunately. So this is actually a pretty interesting development. I imagine we'll be searching a lot now. Ten free tile before every move. But he's searching right now. Um, One of the downsides of like searching a lot and being really careful early on is you waste a lot of nutrition. Fortunately, the Taurus has like a decent food stockpile, so he's probably not terribly concerned about that. It might have been a little problematic if he was playing a role that didn't really have to start with any food. Might have been an accident. I don't think he wanted to punch the newt. I guess he does want to punch the newt instead of wasting his darts. So you saw he went diagonally into that doorway, or I guess it wasn't a doorway, but that opening into the room because there's not going to be a trap there. Hmm. Oh, I thought he equipped that for a second, just picking it up. Now, if he had his pet, he could test if that was cursed and throw in that helmet, which would give some protection against fallen rock traps and also a little extra AC, because AC 10 is pretty bad. Not sure what he's doing right now with this dagger. You train it throwing it at nothing? Never tried that. He likes to write Albereth before eating a corpse. I don't know why he's deciding to do this in the corridor now where he get blindsided by a monster. He doesn't have infravision or anything. First throwing daggers at walls. Oh, he's testing to see if it slips. Okay, that makes sense. That was a lot of confirmation for that. So since you don't have he doesn't have his pet, you have to be a little more creative when curse testing items. So never seen someone do that. Usually you just throw it in. If you see it slip eventually, you know. Throwing darts at this jackal. Missing a lot. Doesn't eat the corpse. Eat right now, probably. So what are our food reserves now? The 4 food rations, that's pretty good. A lichen corpse. I think melons give you pretty decent nutrition. Yeah, relatively comfortable with food. Hiding behind that. I'm gonna train up dagger here. Lichen corpse, even more food. uses the camera. Yeah, so the camera is a pretty nice starting item for the Taurus. It blinds monsters and it causes them to flee. Being able to scare things easily is a pretty nice ability to have. I honestly underuse that when I play Taurus. Definitely something I should make more use of. But like having like a tooled horn or a leather drum is pretty awesome for the same reason. Still trying to train that dagger skill. Really looking for I guess he gave up looking for the downstair. So jumping down the trapdoor now. Something to note, he hasn't done the prayer trick where you can use a prayer to raise your max health. Which is something that I know he likes to do a lot, so... Oh, there it is. I guess he might be saving that for an actual emergency. Pick up the plate mail. Not the best armor, but if it doesn't encumber you, and if your AC is 10, it looks pretty good. I'm sure he's just waiting until he can reunite with his pet to actually start curse testing all these items. So he's probably about to search this large box like 30 times. I don't know if you noticed there, but we saw a you hear noises in the distance. Let me go back. I thought I saw it. That mean his pet's on this level. Oh, what this? Hey Primo, this is an old school roguelike called NetHack. And I'm doing a review of like probably the best player in the world right now. Probably a little foreign if you're not familiar with it. But it's a popular game in its niche little community, so that's what we're checking out. Hey, what's going on, Fristy? So let's see. So he's checking this for traps now. You can do this as many times as you want with no penalty as long as you don't actually try to untrap it. Food and a magic mapping scroll in there. More food, it's always good. Oh man, I'm getting raided by Primo's army. New phone, who dis? Oh, what's up, guys? So he chats with the little dog there, which I think might give you an indication of its tameness since it was on the other level. Hey, thanks for the follow, Jan. I appreciate that. So let's pull that up on the wiki real quick. Not sure. That's an aspect of having a pet that I'm not too used to. So you can chat with cats, dogs, and horses to get a general indication of how tame they are. So if the dog whines, then it's below 5 tameness. The fact that it yips, I guess, means that it's still in good standing, which is good to know. Hey, NJ and Nox, what's up, guys? And Rink, how y'all doing? You have no idea what you were looking at? Is this a text game? Yes, this is a text game. Here, let me link you guys the thing. That first link there is like a decent little description of what NetHack is. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the roguelike genre at all. A lot of this game's like over 20 years old and it has a pretty big cult following right now. I'm in a pretty active modding community. Hey NJ, thanks for the follow, man. Um, it's kind of Diablo-esque, I guess. So it's there's no well, you can save, but everything is like once you die, it's permadeath, which is a feature of it. Everything's random every game for the most part. All the levels are procedurally generated, and you're like in a dungeon diving through, and your goal is to retrieve this amulet for your like god. So I'm watching Tariru, which is like one of the best players in the world right now. He just went on a 60 game Ascension streak, which is incredible. Some people play this game for 10 years without getting a single Ascension. I mean, Ascension is what a victory is in this game. I like Binding of Isaac. Yeah, it's pretty similar to Binding of Isaac. Binding of Isaac is a roguelite, which is like an offshoot of a roguelike genre. One of the big differences between the two is traditional roguelikes are turn-based, and Binding of Isaac and other roguelites are typically real-time. Read The Helmet of Horror when you can. Really interesting. All right, let me bookmark that, and I'll look into that. Indiana Jones and the Tome of DOS games. Yeah, this is definitely a DOS game. Back in the day. So now that he got reunited with his pet, he's going to use it to curse test items. And I'm sure he's really hoping that that plate mail is uncursed. So if your pet walks onto a item without making any sounds, it'll usually say he does it reluctantly. That would mean it's cursed. So he knows this plate mail is uncursed. He's going to do that exclamation C, which is his identifier for that. He's confirmed that the dagger is uncursed, which he had already suspected, but wasn't able to confirm until now. You can't really know for sure until you actually watch the dog step onto it. So if it dances around it, it means it's probably cursed because they avoid that. But you never know until it actually walks onto it. And so it stepped onto it, and since it says the dog only moves reluctantly, now he knows that's cursed. So he's not going to put on that helmet, which I bet he was really wishing he could, because that would be extra protection from falling rock traps. So he's got his plate mail now, so AC is 3, which is a lot more comfortable than having 10 AC. Looking for his pet. Pet mechanics in 3.60 are pretty bad right now. There's a rock trap under that scroll. He knew because his pet walked onto it. So he's going to kick it off the trap so he doesn't have to walk onto it. We're going to continue on. It's a novel where the author wrote a chat room roleplay of the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. That sounds interesting. I'll have to check that out, Jan. AC of 3, are you a bug? Nobody's fighting bugs. Grid bugs to be exact. You are so fucking intrigued right now. I'm glad you're not just completely turned off. Like, I feel like a lot of people that play modern games probably would be when they see a game like this. They also make a version with tile sets, which is a little more welcoming to new players, because I think the whole text-based stuff throws people off. There's a lot of fun modern roguelikes and roguelites out there too. They're kind of in a similar vein, but not quite as I don't know. Some people think NetHack's a little cruel because it is to new players. You kind of have to spoil yourself of a lot of the tricks in order to not just like die constantly, but dying a lot is also kind of the fun early on. Poking his head downstairs just to see what's down there. It's always a good idea. You never know like when there's going to be something nice down there, and it could be the dungeon branch to Gnomish Mines at this point. Because that will spawn between like levels what 2 and 4, 2 and 5. So the Hobbit could be pretty strong for him right now. He's still only level 3. Oh, he leveled up, which I missed that. Hang on, let me go back a second. That happened a while ago. He pray? He got a lot of health from that level. Maybe it's just a good roll. He does have good constitution. Alright, let's go forward again. So he's missing this Jackal, which he's not too concerned about with his health pool, but this Hobbit he clearly is. So he uses an expensive camera on there, which flashes them. He becomes blinded and he runs away. Sure, he likes that dagger that the Hobbit just gave him, though. He's probably gonna let his dog deal with it for the most part. Kind of stay out of melee distance from it. It's more rewarding for when you stop dying, yeah, pretty much. Oh, so this is interesting. The Hobbit dropped that ornamental cope is a cloak. And since there's a few new people here, the items are like all randomized, and you have to identify identify them somehow. And there's like random unidentified descriptions. So for cloaks, the ornamental cope is one of them. So this could be one of a subset of cloaks. And that could be something really nice, like a cloak of magic resistance would be really nice right now. Let's see, are there classes? If so, are you a paladin? Kind of looks like what you're built towards right now. Yes, there are classes. Let's see, I'll pull them up so you guys can see. They're called roles. So there's 13 roles: archaeologist, barbarian, caveman, healer, knight, monk, priest, ranger, rogue, samurai, tourist, valkyrie, and wizard. Knight is the closest thing to a paladin. They're pretty identical in this game. What the game we're watching right now, and this isn't me playing, I'm reviewing someone else's game, but this is a Taurus, which is one of the more difficult classes. They're just a very boring vanilla class. They don't start with anything interesting. They just have a bunch of enchanted darts, which are decent weapons, but darts, when you throw them, there's a chance of them destroying, so they don't last forever. So one of his top priorities right now is to get a better weapon, which is why he's collecting daggers, because they're nice ranged weapons and they don't break like darts do. And I assume you said they're kind of built towards a paladin because of the plate mail, which is pretty accurate. Plate mail is actually kind of bad armor because it's really heavy, but it's all he's really got going for him right now, and he'll take anything at the moment. But yeah, let's see what he uses for, or does with this stuff here. I assume he's going to determine whether this unidentified cloak is cursed and try putting it on. He's going to try and eat this corpse. He wrote Elbereth just in case a monster walks up on him, it'll auto-flee them. He's going to drop these things and use his pet to curse test them. So he knows that cloak is not cursed. So he puts the curse or the cloak on. He knows it's not cursed, so nothing bad can really come of it. He can always remove it if he doesn't like it. And it says suddenly you cannot see yourself. So he knows it's a cloak of invisibility now, which he's probably pretty happy about. It's a pretty nice intrinsic to have, to be invisible when you're this weak Taurus class and you're using ranged items. So monsters have like a harder time finding him and attacking him now, which is pretty nice. That rune dagger is an elven dagger. It's a pretty nice type of dagger. I don't know why he was throwing that dagger again right there. He knew it wasn't cursed already. So he knows that stair is the entrance to the Gnomish Mines alternate dungeon branch. He just made a note of that. He's gonna avoid that for now. The mines can be pretty dangerous for a human that doesn't have infravision. There's dark levels down there. You can get ambushed by strong monsters. He just heard. I'll go back for a second. So you hear things on levels and you get cues to different things that are on the level. We just got this message. You hear those footsteps of a guard on patrol, so that means there's a vault on the level. Just gonna take note of that. Vaults aren't terribly useful, but I don't know. If he needs gold for something later, he might want to go back there. He's still being pretty careful for traps and searching a lot to make sure there's nothing around. So checking for traps on this box a lot. Gonna unlock it. So we got a wand, which could be interesting. He's encumbered now, so that's the penalty to having heavy armor like plate mail. How does he know where these branches are? So there's only a few branches in the dungeon. It's kind of like a vertical map here on the wiki. This wiki is like it's got like all the information in the game, pretty much. It's a pretty valuable resource. I think Dungeons of Doom. This page right here, Mazes of Menace. So this map is kind of a... So these are the levels, starting with level 1, and then you can go higher than that later. This kind of tells you where dungeon branches are. So there's the main dungeon, and then here's the Gnomish Mines. So the Gnomish Mines entrance can be between levels 2 and 4. And so he already found the staircase down in the normal dungeon, so he found a second one, so he knows for sure that that goes to the Gnomish Mines. So he didn't even bother going in there yet. So that's kind of how he was able to figure that out. A few other branches there are. There is Sokoban, which is starts right here. It's Soko 1. That is always between levels 6 and 10, and it always happens right after this Oracle level, which is a different special level, so you always know where that is because it's right below this level. Outside of that, the main ones are, you get to the Medusa level, the castle. Those aren't really dungeon branches. You get to Gehenna, which is basically hell. Then you find Vlad's Tower. It's an alternate dungeon branch. And there's also the quest. Every role has a unique like role quest they have to do, and that's like a separate dungeon branch as well. So there's what, like 4 or 5 dungeon branches depending on how you want to classify dungeon branch. And then there's like a bunch of like special levels. These are all these like demon lords and princes that appear in hell, and they all have their own unique levels. Rogue level. So there's a lot of different things in here. But yeah, if you know what you're looking out for, you can identify stuff and like deduce like where these things are without too much trouble. So potions are really heavy, so it looks like he's gonna drop a few potions right now to get unencumbered. So he was encumbered before. Damn, what the fuck? Have you beat this game? Yeah, I've beaten this game a number of times. The guy we're watching now just beat this game like 61 times in a row. And which is like it's a world record, really. The record before that was 29, so it's pretty incredible what he did. So that's why we're watching him, to just kind of take a look at his strategy. And this game has like a pretty big cult following, so there's a lot of I don't know, other people are interested to see how someone like this plays. Yeah, I've beaten it once with all 13 rolls, and then a bunch of other times. I've been playing this game for like 15 years or so, on and off. So he's gonna stash those potions for now. He just engrave tested that wand, so if you write something on the ground and then try to write on it again with a wand, a lot of wands have special messages that can give you a hint as to what they are. So this wand just changed his message into this random quote. He never... Never mind any monsters hitting you. They just replace the... I don't know what that word's supposed to say. But it changed it, so he knows this is a wand of polymorph now, because that's what wand of polymorph does when you try to write over another message with it. The identification mini game in this game is pretty important. So he knows that wand is a wand of polymorph. It's a pretty useful wand. I don't know how much juice he's going to get out of it early on. Best use is probably to like polymorph other items to try to get like different magic items with them. Alright, so we're going to move through. Let's see what we have here. This level has got a lot going on. That's just a statue. Sky blue potion. We know it's uncursed. Kill that kobold zombie. Fighting that iguana. Fighting the lichen. Take a quick peek downstairs. There's a gnomish mummy right there. Gonna come back up. Nothing interesting there. He's generally going to clear all these levels out before going down further. Monster spawns get harder as you go down deeper in the dungeon. And you never know what you're going to find. So there's a spell book here, which is going to be heavy. He's going to leave it there, but probably note its location so you can come back later. Once he gets holy water, if you bless a spell book, you can read it with 100% success rate. So I'll probably wait till he can do that, so he can read it and then just leave. Because once you learn a spell, you get to keep it for 20,000 turns. I want to watch this combat here. The gnomish mummy. Looks like he might have been having a little bit of trouble fighting that. Gnomish? It's just gnome, I think. Base level 4, 6 AC, D6 claw, so pretty easy monster, not that high of AC, so let's see what he's doing here. So we wrote Elbereth, which makes things flee from you. Gonna keep writing it. He doesn't want to fight this thing in melee, but it keeps coming up to him. Writing Elbereth on the ground is some little cute trick, I guess, where if you stand on it and it's like written successfully, like monsters will run away from you. But it has a lot of restrictions, so it's it can be a risky strategy. The engraving can fade like that one just did. He's trying to let his pet kill this mummy. He doesn't want to fight it in melee. But got it. He's still pretty weak, so he's fighting very, very careful. Not sure what he was searching for right there. He heard that message that said you hear noises in the distance, which means your pet is fighting something. Going back to go see what it is. You'll see he's writing Elbereth before fighting most things. Being extremely careful because this is game 47 of that streak, so he's he's doing anything he can to not die. And what he was really waiting was for that gecko to walk away from him, so either his pet would kill it or he could throw something at it. He got a message that told him there's a shop on this level, which he's probably about to spend like 2,000 turns in this shop once he finds it. We'll see what kind of shop it is. Oh, we found a new wand. He's gonna engrave test it again. So he tried to write on the floor with that wand, and it said the bugs on the ground speed up. So that means that it's a wand of speed monster, and he can zap that on himself and his pet, which makes him a little faster, which is really valuable. So now that he has speed, and that's a permanent intrinsic, he can outrun a lot of monsters, which is really valuable in this game. If you see something he doesn't like, he can back out. Now that studded leather might be more reasonable than his plate mail eventually, because it's lighter, provides a decent AC bonus. So if he starts having like encumbrance issues from having too much stuff on him, he might want to ditch that plate mail and pick that up instead. Peeking back down in the level below. Let's see, there's a box checking for traps. He's gonna do it like 20 times until he's pretty comfortable that there's no traps there. Amulet, a cloudy potion, gem. Gonna curse test this amulet with his pet. Pet's not stepping on it, so it might be cursed. He wasn't gonna wait for it, but he's just assuming it's cursed right now. Pretty safe assumption after that. He found the shop, it's a potion shop. He had to take off his invisibility cloak because shopkeepers don't like invisible customers. He's throwing a gold piece down each row to make sure there's no mimics in the shop. He didn't hit anything, so he knows there are no mimics. So he's gonna price ID all these potions. I'm gonna speed through this. I'm only gonna stop if anything stands out. So every item has like a base value, and you can kind of determine that based on what a shopkeeper will either charge you for it or buy it back from you for. And there's some randomness to it, but you can like narrow down what an item is based on that. So like there was like a 300 value potion there, so that narrows it down to like 3 types. Now he's selling potions just to do the same thing. The numbers that he's adding to these names are the base values of these potions. This one was 250. There's only 2 options there: acid, potion of acid, or potion of oil. So that's why he wrote that. Let's see what else he decides to do here. So he throws on this invisibility cloak, and he does that because that shopkeeper is going to stay by the door as long as he has that cloak on. And that's just because he doesn't want you to like walk out while you're invisible. Oh, so that was a potion of water. So he knows it's unholy water because his I don't know if the pet walked on it reluctantly. He might just be assuming. So that's a pretty valuable thing to find because being able to curse items can be useful. He's using his pet to steal stuff. So he just stole this 300 value potion. So basically your pet will like pick things up and drop it back off, like, and like drop it again. So if a pet picks something up inside a shop and then drops it outside, then you get to steal it. In the game you ascended, the RNG decided that you would not want to price ID anything. Not only were there no shops in the main branch, you rolled Orcish Town. Wow, that's really bad luck. Yeah, being able to price ID things is pretty damn valuable. It's pretty annoying if you don't find shops for a while. And that is pretty unlucky. Did you basically hold out for identify scrolls, which you can kind of figure out based on their like generation probabilities? Hang on, I missed that. Did he sell it? Yeah. So he's selling that potion. Letting his pet steal it. Selling it again. Pretty slow way to get money out of the shopkeeper. He's probably going to do this for a while, so I'm going to speed up. Oh no, he decided to stop there. Selling potions for 100 gold at a time is a pretty slow process. You're having your pet steal it every time. He just kicked that door down, which exercises your strength. So maybe that's something he's going to start looking out for now. A leprechaun, that's annoying. He drops his gold. Leprechauns have a special attack. If you have gold in your inventory, they'll steal your gold and teleport away, which is really annoying. But if you drop or stash all your gold, they can't do that. So now he has 0 gold, so he can just fight the leprechaun. Or let his pet fight it. Let's see, there's a floating eye here. So these monsters are very slow. They don't attack you, but they have a passive that where if you attack them, you get paralyzed for a very long time. So if you bump into one of these by accident, it usually means you die. But they also, if you eat their corpse, you get an intrinsic telepathy, which means if you blind yourself, you can see everything with like a brain on the level, which is really valuable to see if there's anything dangerous in the level. He's gonna try and kill this and hope it drops a corpse that he can eat. It didn't. Yeah, so he's kicking doors now. Looks like he's trying to exercise his strength a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he pushes a boulder around if he finds one. What was that? Was that a statue? No, it's an actual little dog. So, little dogs are actually pretty strong. He probably doesn't want to fight it, because they're domestic animals. If you throw food at them, it doesn't always tame them, but it can make them peaceful. He throws a tin of lichen meat, which kind of funny because that would probably hurt. But he threw it at it, and now it's a peaceful dog. I'm sure he's happy about. I think that piece of armor in that room was another plate mail. She doesn't seem to be too concerned about. That's a giant bat. Those things are pretty annoying. They're fast, and they have like decent AC. So if you get unlucky with them, they can kill you. Looks like we're going back to the mines now. Gonna finish exploring these upper levels as well. He's waiting for his dog to catch back up to fight that hobbit. Let's see. You feel more confident in your weapon skills. That means you can level up one of your skills. It's probably Dart, or that might have just happened because he got enough levels to enhance something. He's up to 38 health, which is pretty nice. I'm back to level 1. I guess he's just going to finish exploring this. That's the whole level. Coming back down. There's obviously a room in the top left here. She probably wants to find. Yeah, there's a doorway right there. Oh no, he's just gonna go right down to the mines. So this is a lit mine level, which is very nice. The dark ones can get pretty dangerous. So that, yeah, that was his dagger skill that he can enhance now. If it's unskilled, you get a -4 to hit penalty. So going from unskilled to basic is pretty nice this early on. The Gnome Lord, the Dwarf. These strong monsters that corner you. Relatively strong. It can be trouble depending on what they're equipped with and how unlucky you are. Everything's throwing daggers at him. He's standing on the upstairs, so if things get hairy, he can always run back up. Trying to scare things away with Elbereth, so there we go. The Gnome Lord is dead. I'm making a lot of use of that Elbereth mechanic. Okay, the dwarf died. Looks like that gnome killed the hobbit. Yep. Intercepted the crossbow bolt. He's jumping back upstairs to heal a bit. And heading back down to fight this thing. This tends to happen a lot in the mines. You can get swarmed by, it's like wide open areas, everyone can see you. So if you hop down and there's a lot of monsters around, they'll all just start like going towards you. I don't know why he doesn't have his cloak of invisibility on right now. Is that an accident? Expect him to have that on. He took it off because he was in the shop. I'm ditching some items because he was encumbered. He just found some hard shoes that dwarf dropped. That would be 2 AC, so he's gonna go find his pet. See if he can determine whether it's cursed or not. It is not, because the pet stepped on it. He's gonna put them on. He puts that cloak of invisibility back on. I think he just realized that he wasn't wearing that. And we're down to 0 AC, which is solid. And there are a lot of traps in the mines, so he's being pretty careful with where he moves. Takes note of that banded mail. Let's take a quick look at the different body armors. So right now he's wearing plate mail, 450 weight for 7 AC, 450, that is heavy, and he only has 13 strength. Banded mail is 1 less AC, but 350 weight. I'm just going to note that in case he starts having a lot of inventory encumbrance issues. Or maybe he's gonna put it on right away. He knows it's not cursed. At the very least, he's gonna test it and try it on to see if it's enchanted. Probably. Yep. It's only +0, so he puts the plate mail back on. It's worth trying on any armor once you can determine that it's not cursed, just to see if there's any kind of enchantment. This is what I was talking about. So, well, he's invisible now, so it won't be as bad, but a lot of times you'll get swarmed by all these monsters when you're coming down into the mines. Another lit mine level, that's good. Nice and safe for the most part. These gnomes are all pretty weak, so he shouldn't really have much trouble here. But it's easy to get overwhelmed. We're just throwing things, staying by the stairs where it's nice and safe. Trying to kill things from range, let our pet kill things. I'm gonna come back upstairs and heal up a bit. I guess he only healed 1 HP there. I've seen him do this before, so I was kind of skipping through a lot of that, so I wasn't watching a lot of the numbers and stuff. But he knows that dagger's +0, I assume, because he got hit with it, and he noted how much damage it did, and it did damage, like a minimum damage that only a +0 dagger would be able to do. And his AC is 0. You don't get any damage reduction until you're in the negative ACs, so it's relatively easy to determine that. The one thing you probably need to be careful with if you try doing that is, I assume you can regenerate HP on the same turn that you get hit, which would kind of mess with that number because you don't know how much damage you took and how much of it was from regenerating. Let's see. Let's kind of speed through this a little bit. Still being pretty careful about what he steps on. Like if he steps onto a magic trap in the mines, which can happen, or polymorph trap, it could be like the end of the game for him. So he's searching a lot and waiting for his pet to walk on things first. He's got the food reserves that he can, you know, take the time. And the pet will also make noises if he's near a trap. Actually, no, that only happens when he's on a leash, doesn't it? Which can be pretty useful. The 2 stairs are right next to each other. Got hungry, so he ate something. Looks like it might be it's really fortunate that that Dark Mines level has the 2 stairs right next to each other, so you don't even have to explore it. There's a lot of dugout corridors here. Aeon of Horse, thanks for the follow, I appreciate that. We just got a pickaxe, which is a useful item. I haven't noticed how many turns he's spent here. It seems like there's a lot of dugout corridors here. He's going into one of these dugout corridors again, which is what got him killed eventually. This isn't quite as dangerous as last time. He's a little more burly. He has his pet with him, and he knows that it goes to this town. So he's in Mine Town. Let me take a quick intermission here to refill my drink. Then I'll be right back. Give me like 60 seconds. All right, we're back, so we can take a look at this Minetown level. Minetown, a great place to be early on. There's a lot of shops in there. There's going to be an altar here, which can be useful. Let's see. Let me fix this overlay. There we go. Minetown can also be kind of dangerous, depending on what spawns there. But yeah, this is an early goal is to get here and see what's here. You can usually find a lot of good stuff in the shops. You can price ID things. If it's a coal-lined altar, you can get artifact weapons from your god and holy water pretty easily. So definitely a good place to find early on. A lot of times you'll come in here, do Minetown, and then just go back up and finish the rest of the dungeon before going deeper in the mines. Or not the whole rest of the dungeon, but more of it. Usually people do both Minetown and Sokoban before they go to Mine's End. Whichever order they do depends on, you know, their preference and whatever that they're doing for that current run. Or whatever they need. So he was just blinded for a moment. Didn't seem to last too long, that's good. There are poisoned arrows on the ground there. Oh, there's Auroch High. I thought those were goblins when I first saw them. So yeah, any kind of orc type monster will usually have poison arrows on them, which poison, there's always a chance of insta-death, so that's pretty dangerous. If you don't have poison resistance, which he does not have yet. But definitely don't leave those lying on the ground. What's up, Drac? Don't resident sleeper me. It's a lawful altar, so it's not co-aligned, but it can still be used to BUC test things. Oh, and he has enough money to purchase protection. Damn, only experience level 4. I wonder if that was intentional, and one of the reasons that he was letting his pet do a lot of the heavy lifting. He does that a lot to begin with normally, but let's see what we get here. So 4 extra AC, that is huge. So you can offer money to priests to buy divine protection, and it's cheaper the lower level you are, so that was really big right there. Negative 4 AC is really nice for a Taurus at this point. And he's gonna drop everything on the altar. Nothing too exciting to note here. A few blessed darts though, which is nice. General store up there. Few gnomes to fight. Okay. So he's got this watchman trapped, and what he's trying to do right now is he wants his pet to kill that watchman for him. He can't because the watchman's peaceful. So he would take a penalty for it, and he'd alert all the other guards in the town, and they'd all attack him. But his pet doesn't care, so he waits till his pet gets adjacent to him, swaps places with him, and then they're stuck adjacent to each other, so they're gonna fight each other. And the watchman's gonna drop a helmet, he's gonna drop gloves probably, maybe a decent weapon. So you know, he might find some good gear here. Just popping in, why did you choose this game to comment on? I wanted to do another one of Tariru's games because I've watched a few bits and pieces of his different games in the past, but I've only done one full game on stream. So picking another one from his Ascension streak is good to, you know, compare the two and just see, you know, are there some things that he only did in that game he doesn't normally do, like what's consistent between the two and what's inconsistent between the two. So I figured it'd be good to go through another one of those. I picked a game that was later on in this most recent streak he did because If he learned anything along the way, he'd be implementing it later on. And I wanted to pick something that didn't start with poison resistance, because I think that's a big deal early on, is how you handle, getting poison resistance and dealing with, poisonous things. And also, I just wanted to pick a weak roll overall. So I was kind of looking at like Taurus and like healers. So I went with this Taurus because the Taurus is a pretty plain vanilla weak roll. So I thought that'd be a good one to go with. How many Ascensions in the streak? This is number 47 out of what, 61? So late-ish in the streak. And yeah, we're just a neutral human Taurus, so very, very plain Jane vanilla. So yeah, you got shoes, a shield, gloves, a helmet. Only a dagger though, so lots of nice armor from this watch captain. I'm surprised he didn't grab the leather armor. I mean, that could have been like +5 leather armor. It's worth checking out, in my opinion. Monculus, those are dangerous because they can put you to sleep. This is interesting. His dog stepped onto all of that armor, so he knows it's all uncursed. Or non-cursed, I should say. Probably gonna take it to the altar anyways. Ooh, a leash. That's very nice. So he can leash his pet. It keeps him closer to him. But what's nice about the leash, and especially since he's in the mines, is it's going to... His pet will make whining noises if it's near a trap. You should comment on a win from the NetHack bot that can win with ridiculous amounts of scumming, the pudding farming bot. I feel like that would be incredibly boring, but maybe we could. That would be interesting to look into, so maybe we'll do that for fun one of these days. It won't be top priority for me, but yeah, we can do that someday. Just from watching the chat logs on Hard Fought, I assume what that bot does is farm for tons of wishes and then wish for tons of shit and then just go and like crush the game. But yeah, we can go watch that because that would be an interesting perspective to watch the game from. Let's see. Fick is asking me a question about why I picked this game as well. Let me send him a message real quick. Let's see. I'm gonna tell him what I just told Dracunos. All right. So yeah, we found this leash, which is pretty nice. I don't use leashes too much. I do like their utility for finding traps and whatnot. But I assume they should also make it a lot easier to steal from shops, which I'm sure he'll take advantage of here shortly. So all that armor is uncursed. The walking shoes are blessed, which means there's a better chance that it might be enchanted. So I'm sure he's hoping for that. He already has hard shoes, I believe. But if those walking shoes were at least +1, then they'd be lighter than the hard shoes and equivalent AC. He's gonna put everything on, and then everything's +0, but he's down to -7 AC with all of that on, which is really, really good. At this point in the game, I would say. Like, you can... His health pool's still a little low, so some monsters will be quite dangerous, but, you know, with -7 AC, and if he got another, like, 30 HP or so, he would be in pretty good shape. And he does have 17 Constitution, so 3 or 4 more levels, he'll have like a better health pool, and he's only level 4, so he can get that high without too much time or trouble, I would think. I think he's doing pretty well right here, and he's got invisibility from that cloak. So he's ditching a few things. So he starts fighting all these dwarves and gnomes in the mines. He'll be able to get extra health pretty easily. Or yeah, more experience to get more health. Let's see, gonna check this small general store for mimics. He always hits those diagonals from the doorway. I guess in case he does find a mimic there, he can leave right away, because he can't move diagonal from this tile. Selling a bunch of garbage. Surprised he doesn't want to hold on to any of his daggers. Throwing star is nice. Although I don't know if... Tor should be able to get basic in throwing stars, right? Kind of a jack of all trades. Aluminum wand. Another wand. So 175, that's a pretty good class of wands. Those are all the offensive ones, basically. Cold, fire, lightning. You can use them to do a lot of range damage or something. And also if it's fire, it's very... Fire or lightning, it's a very reliable algorithm. Cold is useful to have too, but usually later on if you need to make like ice bridges or stop a monster drowning attacks from attacking you. Or from drowning you. So he's gonna do some more price IDing here. Determine those darts are +1. Oh, that cursed scroll is level 300. It's gonna leave the poison arrows in there. Little bold. Hate for a monster to pick them up. Chances of something with a launcher picking those up and using them against him are pretty low though. So we do have good AC, but we're dealing with some encumbrance issues from all the armor we're wearing, particularly that plate mail. Hardware store. Looks like there's probably a bag for him. Hopefully it's not a bag of tricks. That might be an ice chest? An ice box? Might have some valuable corpses in there. A whistle. He already has a A tin whistle. I don't know if he named it, so that's probably a magic whistle, which is nice. Oh no, it is just a regular whistle. The watchman earlier dropped the whistle too, so I assumed he would have named it. There is an icebox. Gecko. Let's see. What do we have in here? Homunculus, I believe, can give you sleep resistance. Or no, they can give you poison resistance too, can't they? Poison and sleep both with 7%. Killer bee are poisonous, but they give you poison resistance with like a 33% chance, I think. And these are all poisonous already though, so that makes them harder to use if you don't have a way to deal with the strength hit from that. Yeah, nothing that great here to be honest. Sometimes you can find some things that offer good resistances with good chances. Shit, if there's like a floating eye corpse or something in there, then pretty nice. He's gonna have his pet steal this bag. Hey, success. The gem in it. Okay, so it's a valuable bag, so it's either an oilskin sack or a bag of holding. All tools are generated uncursed, so I don't think there's any. Did he just test it? Yeah, he's right on the cuff of being burned into knots, so he put stuff in it. It didn't reduce his encumbrance, so he knows his oilskin. I'm sure to his dismay. But having any bag is pretty valuable when you don't have one, so he'll take it. Another dog running around. Let's see. We just got that bag and the leash. Oh, there's that wand there too, so. Assume we're gonna engrave test that wand. Ditch a few items that we don't plan on using for a while. Actually, he decided to identify that 300 scroll. This is something you'll see a lot. If you're having encumbrance issues, just start using stuff in your inventory. So just use that one of those 3 scrolls of identify, and decide you want to know what that 300 level scroll is. If it was, say, genocide, he might have used that to spawn some monsters. Oh, nice. A lot of NetHack streaming going on. Someone else was streaming earlier. Looks like MTF is getting a fic hack stream going. Fun stuff. Good time to part of the NetHack community. Let's see, it looks like he wants to try out some more armor. Gonna see if his dog will fight this watchman. Or maybe not. Maybe he is content. Oh, excuse me. 9 darts there, not bad. Ooh, and some iron shoes and a shield. I think we're gonna pick all of that up and go back to that altar. Screw the altar. We're just gonna sell it right away, and if anything has a high value, we'll probably then go to the altar. Oh, those walking shoes were +1. I didn't notice that earlier. Nothing in the lighting shop. Or Red Naga. Hatchling, I assume. They are a good source of poison resistance. He's getting poisoned arrows launched at him. Fortunately, his pet is taking care of all these Auroch High. Nothing, no fire, no poison resistance from that Naga. Unfortunately. So he's noting that there's a killer bee corpse in that ice box in case we need to come back later to try and get some poison resistance. He's gonna explore this level. At least a little bit, it looks like. He's got that candle that he found on the last level. He's got a little bit of a light source. I think he's feeling pretty comfortable right now. With a large dog as a pet, you know, not a fantastic health pool, but not a like a little bit comfortable one. But then that -7 AC is pretty big. I'm gonna try and get unburdened. Looks like we want to test his hard hat. I wonder if he's going to use that broad short sword. So that was 1 AC more than the other helmet he had. I'm going to price ID the sword to see what its enchantment might be. So that one he got earlier, the 175 value one, was a one of cold, which we just determined by engrave testing. You generally want to do that sooner. Like, I like to do that as soon as I get a wand nowadays, because I used to be in the habit, especially in like Sokoban, of like waiting till the end of the level and then doing it. But once I got ambushed in the middle of a Sokoban level, like right after I found a wand and decided to wait to ID it, and it was a wand that would have like saved me. And I don't remember if I died or not, but I came really close to dying. And I was like, you know what? Let's just like start IDing wands like right when we get them, as long as there are no other like immediate threats to deal with. Did he ditch his pet? We swapped out that plate mail for that banded mail. Presumably to regain 100 weight units. The cost of only 1 AC. Enchant weapon. Wonder if he's going to use that right away. He doesn't really have a primary weapon yet. He can enchant the darts more. Did he take that helmet off? What the hell just happened? Hang on, let's back up. Oh, because it's iron? They rust you if you get inside? Hmm. That's interesting. That up. Yeah, I don't know why he took his helmet off there. That seemed... I don't know, was it an accident? A typo? I don't know why he did that. Took off his cloak of invisibility, might have been so that it would like engulf him and he'd be able to hit easier. He's having trouble hitting it, so maybe he typoed the helmet. Not sure why he did that. Maybe to make it easier for the fog cloud to engulf him. Two scrolls of enchant weapon. Yep, so the broad short sword is going to be our weapon of choice for now. So let's take a quick look at the decision. They are nice weapons. That's the unidentified appearance of a dwarvish short sword. So D7, D8 damage, not bad. And ooh, assume he can probably just get the basic on that. Oh, expert actually, okay. One of the few weapons that Taurus can get expert in. And now it's +2, which is pretty nice. +2 short sword, a stack of +2 darts, good AC. We're looking pretty good right now. Short sword up to basic. Oh, +1 strength. Not bad. I'm just gonna kind of speed through some of this level exploration. Let me know if you want me to slow down and take a look at anything. I didn't see what happened to the pet earlier. Must have died or something. You notice how um, like much less cautiously he's playing now. He's not searching every tile. He's not engraving Elberth on sight constantly and whatnot. I just got a lockpick, which is slightly better than credit card he was using to open doors. Looks like there were a few, or this was like a small stash that he had laid out. Few items there. And the other items he just found in that dungeon floor in his bag. There were a few potions he left in here. Gonna fight those Roths. Roths. When I reviewed the game he died on, I started this like big discussion about how to pronounce Roth slash Roth. I don't think we ever got a good answer on that. I think most people say Roth. Walking back and forth a little bit there. We're gonna do some price IDing here. I think this is just a potion shop. There are two potions here we don't have identified yet. 200 value. Oh, he's a Taurus, so he has that extra penalty to deal with. I was like, how do you get 200 out of that? So yeah, if you're a Taurus, you get like a sucker tax where shopkeepers will take advantage of you and they'll charge you more for things and offer you less money when you're selling stuff. Um, so if you throw items into a shop, the shopkeeper will take possession of them. Normally, if they're not something that he would buy or sell, and then you can buy it to price ID it. So he just threw a few weapons in there, so you can buy them back and try to determine what their enchantment value is. Because he wouldn't be able to sell those normally because it's just a potion shop. That one rune dagger looks like it's +1. He's gonna hold on to that. They might have a new doggo. He just wanted to make it peaceful. He doesn't care about having a tame one. Alright, on to new territory in the main dungeon. House cat. We're gonna take the house cat though. Give that an egg. Gee, leprechaun, stash your gold. Um, Rothe? I can't tell if you're serious or not. That was another part of the discussion when we had that. Did he just throw an egg? Don't those go splat? The cat caught the egg and devoured it, so it didn't have a chance to go splat. But yeah, normally they would. Killed that Rothe with some darts. chasing the leprechaun down. Which is an annoying thing to do. He gives up and turns around. Jackal. There's a lot of these Rotheos around. Trying to figure out if there's a trap under that money. So there's a vault there. Ooh, an altar that he can actually convert, which is nice. You thought if you throw eggs at animals, they just consider it an attack? That might only apply to cockatrice eggs. I'm not sure where that breakdown is. We can take a quick look at that. Maybe the wiki might have some light to shed on that. But if you look at let's see, treats. Treats are different, aren't they? Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, I think you're right here. Treats can also be thrown at hostile domestic animals to tame them. However, contrary to common misconception, treats do not required for this. Any food item that an animal can eat will do, unless it splats like an egg. Hey, that's a good point there, ZZ. I'm gonna turn back and take a quick look at that. Let's see, 58, 52 is where we're at currently. Alright, I'm going forward again. Use the house cat. The eggs out. It tamed the cat. This is 3.6.0. Does seem to be at odds with this. Hmm. Throw it, right? What do you want to throw? That is an excellent question, ZZ. We might have to look into that some more, because that's definitely what we're witnessing right now. Is definitely at odds with what the wiki seems to indicate. Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna bookmark that for now, but I'm kind of interesting to look into that some more now. Yeah, you raised a good point. Turn were we on? A little further than this, I think. 5860, right? But yeah, good catch there. Take out what? Curse test everything, or BUC test everything. Bless scroll, bless potion. in what? Put everything back away. Dwarf Lord. Ooh, Dwarvish Mithril Coat. Yeah, a lot of armor here. I think he is excited about that. So we're gonna shed what 200 weight or so for no loss in AC, I think. Assuming this is +0 and uncursed. Is he gonna curse test it? I was just gonna take it to the altar. Hard hat was only +0, but it is blessed. Large shield. It looks like it only gave him an extra +1 AC, so I don't think it was enchanted. He didn't actually go back to his inventory, so I didn't confirm that. A lot of darts to try and kill this ape. What are an ape's stats again? Curiosity. Oops. I opened a new window. Yeah, D3, D3, D6. Oh, only 6 AC. Base level 4. Carnivorous apes can be pretty nasty. Leash broke. But he had another one. So he's gonna let that cat try and kill that nymph for him. Also throw some stuff at it. This is interesting. When you're fighting nymphs and you're throwing stuff at them, sometimes you get in this like cycle of you throw and then the nymph picks it up until the nymph dies, which is a pretty nice place to be. Back. So he already had these milky potions, and he's almost certain that that is object detection, although that's not guaranteed. And that's how I normally denote it too, is just say that's a nymph drop and don't automatically assume that it's object detection. Once I had 2 nymphs like back to back drop potions and they weren't object detection, they're the same one. It would have been really misleading to assume it was object detection, even though the odds of it not being object detection are pretty damn slim at that point. Another potion shop. And a mimic. Just gonna fight it. Smoky potion, nice. Yeah, so he dipped the darts into that potion. One of the 50 value potions is sickness, and if the darts were coated in poison or whatever the message is, that would have identified that and consumed it. But able to narrow that down slightly. I suspect that he probably wanted poison darts. So he threw the other broadsword in there to see if he could identify it further. Just in case it was better than the one he's got on now, or that he's using already. Just +2. You always want to check. Oh, a unicorn. That's gonna be relatively dangerous, probably, even at -8 AC. His cat might be able to kill it for him. Let's see how he wants to fight this. I would just throw things at it, stay out of line of sight, let my cat fight it a bit. See, it's missing a lot. Yeah, then you get a turn like that where it drops you from 50 to 34, so you gotta be careful with it. But he's just meleeing the thing. And was able to kill it without too much trouble. Got a unicorn horn. Going to eat that corpse for that juicy 60% chance of poison resistance. Or did he not? Okay, yeah, he did, but got nothing out of it. But the unicorn horn will make it pretty easy to get poison resistance now, because the downside of eating poisonous corpses, which are what most of the ones that grant poison resistance, is that you have to deal with that strength damage, which a unicorn horn will negate. I'm going back. I love that. For some reason, it's like panic trapped. Can't even type it right. I wouldn't be surprised if we went back to Minetown soon to eat that killer bee corpse now as well. It's a long way back, but it might be worth it to get poison resistance. Oh my god. The snake is taking everything. And let's look up snake really quick. Yeah, they have a poison attack. That's why he wouldn't go toe to toe with it, because he could have got insta killed. Hallucinating, a very annoying effect. The floating nose twitters. Hallucinating is so fun. Back to our normal. All those your house cat whimpers messages are because it was walking around leashed next to a trap. Another altar. Hey, a neutral one. And some kind of teleportation trap. I'm going to use a prayer to get holy water. Note when our prayer is. So you put a potion. Let's see, stashing the potions. That's a regular teleportation trap. Kick down the door so we don't have to step onto the trap. Got a +1 con, up to 18 constitution, very nice. Back to being pretty careful about traps. We're only on D level 7, so polymorph isn't a concern yet. He was getting a little, I don't want to say careless, but not quite as cautious about traps and stuff earlier. You can now eat poisonous corpses like that homunculus one because of the unicorn horn. Let's see. I think he's going back to Minetown. I just fast forward a little bit. I don't know if there's something in particular he's looking for. Maybe he just wants to see what the tool might be on this level without exploring the whole thing. Saddle. I would be shocked if he ever uses that. I think he wants that ring though. Back to Minetown. Gathering up some potions of water. And that weight is less of an issue, and we have holy water. Yep, gonna go get that killer bee corpse. And we got poison resistance from it, so yep, that was worth the trip back here. It was about a 30 or 33% chance to get that, and then there's also homunculus corpse in there, which would have been another 7 to try. So very nice. And we're gonna eat that to see if we can get sleep resistance as well. And we don't. The nuke corpses. What, for extra power? I guess so. Let's see. A little more price IDing. That ring is cursed. A little stash going on in this temple. I didn't see how he knew that was glass. I don't know if he tried to sell it or something. Usually don't mess too much with gems. Carry them around if I have like the carrying capacity. Um, Sometimes you get value out of them, but I usually don't use them too much. And we're gonna go deeper in the mines. Using another one of those object detections. Added gloves, nice. Candle. That's probably a gnome carrying a candle. So the random tool on this mines level. Oh, he knows it's leather. Is there a watchman down here or something? Or was that what he already had? I thought maybe knew it was magic or something. I guess he didn't want to explore that level, just wanted to go down and see if there's any nice tools or anything down there. You know, you could find like a bag of holding there or something. So if you have the potion of object detection, why not make use of it? I'm sure you wanted to get rid of it anyways because of the weight. Probably heading to... Oh no, we're gonna go to this closet. Presumably to identify teleport, now that we have a pickaxe. So that scroll is gonna be teleport. There's always gonna be a teleport scroll in there. So that's a nice way to identify it without consuming one. A very common scroll. Hang on, why do you dig down? Oh, okay. So what he's about to do is drop everything that he doesn't want to get rusted or blanked. Put everything in his inventory that he wants to blank, and then just keep diving into this pool of water. Which will get you a lot more blank items than just using the fountain. So here's a little bit of potion ID minigame. We're gonna be dipping unicorn horns into potions and um, you know, diluting things. Presumably to get more holy water because we just have one potion now. He's probably gonna want to bless some scrolls or something. Although I don't know if we have any scrolls. Oh yeah, there's an enchant weapon there, so I'll probably bless that and use that. Taking the sink. I'm sure we want it out of the sink, honestly. I don't think there's any use for a black pudding right now. and 3.4.3, and I think now in 3.6.1 versions of NetHack, you actually get intrinsics from their corpses. So I used to kick sinks for that, but they just drop these globs that you can't eat, or they don't give intrinsics in 3.6.0, which is what we're reviewing right now. So there's no value to it there. You can get a succubus, but I mean his stats, I don't know if they're, that's a game he was looking to play, maybe. I guess we'll find out. Oh, searching for rings. Yeah, it's an obvious one. I guess that's why. And he didn't use the fountain to blank anything, so. Ditch the cat. Just temporarily. So this is something I don't do anymore, is wear test rings, at least not under certain conditions, because if that's polymorph, you can polymorph the turn you put it on. It's really unlikely, it's like a 1 in 100 chance. But that could have like shredded his armor if he polymorphed into something. It's like a very, very, very cautious way to deal with that. But the flip side is if you throw like rings on, you can determine things like anything that changes your stats, like, you know, gain strength or constitution. Levitate, which is a very useful ring, you'll identify immediately. I don't know, I feel like in the future when I'm doing that, I'm going to remove my armor, my body armor, my cloak, just in case I polymorph into something that would shred it. A bunch of mortar orcs, which I'm sure they have a bunch of poison arrows, but we're not poison resistant, so it's not that scary. Arrowway and some mortar orcs. This is like straight out of Lord of the Rings, huh? Gonna eat these corpses for nutrition. I'm sure Sokoban is the next goal. I'll probably stop this review once we get to Sokoban, or maybe once we clear it. How long it takes to get there. This is probably the Oracle level. Yep. Yeah, nice haul from that chest. Fighting puddings is annoying, or great oozes, because they'll corrode your weapons. You caught that. I'm gonna break right here, so I'll leave chat open for a couple of minutes in case anyone wants to talk. Otherwise I'm gonna call it here. I'll probably host someone. No one's playing, but But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. That was fun. And I'll do another installment. I might do another stream tomorrow. I'm gonna finish doing this entire Ascension. So next game we're gonna clear Sokoban, or next time we'll clear Sokoban and go through the mid game. And then we're 8,500 turns in about. I think this is about a 28,000 turn Ascension, so about a third of the way through. And the early game takes a while too, because all the shop like antics and stuff, and searching and hiding and being very cautious. But he's clearly feeling a lot more comfortable now. So tomorrow or next week we'll continue this some more.